This is Unknown and Uncloned on the Undetermined Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to Unknown and Uncloned, where we dissect the arts, one pop culture craze at a time. I'm your host, Rich. Here with me is my co-host,
Julian Wilson, with our pal today as a guest.
Hello, guys. My name's Lewis.
Yeah, what's up, Lewis?
How's it going, man?
It's going good, man.
Yeah, Lewis is actually a longtime friend of mine, and he was able to come in on some of our other episodes. You'll be hearing him as the weeks progress.
Yes.
And we upload some more stuff.
That's right.
However, if you guys want to reach the podcast, maybe tweet at us or maybe the Undetermined, you can reach us at...
You can reach us at Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. On Facebook, we're located at UAU TUDPN as the handle, and on Instagram and Twitter, it's simply at UAU Podcast. And if you want to reach the Undetermined, the grander brand, you can find it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the UD Network, and also catch full episodes of Unknown and Uncloned at the Undetermined Network on YouTube.
That's right. So today, we're going to go into the realm of sci-fi.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. And in all of sci-fi, there's one particular topic that always seems to mystify us, that is always so alluring, and that is time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling through time? Well, the appeal is obvious. You can make up for past mistakes. You can go into the future, see what it holds for you, all that kind of stuff.
Dangerous or just mysterious? Maybe both.
Exactly. And I was doing some research into the origin and how exactly this got started as an idea in novels and shows and whatnot. Apparently, the author H.G. Wells wrote a novel called The Chronic Argonauts in 1888. And that is commonly referenced as like the first book about time travel. And then from there, H.G. Wells had another novel called The Time Machine.
Nice.
And then from there, he started a chain. He was the pioneer of this new subgenre. And now it's been adapted in so many different ways.
Oh, yeah.
And popular films. Back to the Future, just to name one.
Mm-hmm.
But Back to the Future isn't the only film that has an emphasis on time travel and the effects that it can have on the current timeline. There's actually one particular film I really wanted to highlight. This indie movie that I saw fairly recently that I think deserves a lot more attention, and it's called Time Lapse.
Time Lapse. I've never heard of that one.
It's great. And it's got a really cool concept. These friends come across a camera that can take pictures 24 hours into the future.
That's cool.
Right?
That's cool. I like that.
Imagine. And of course, they try to use it for their own gain, and things don't end up working out, but...
Can never take advantage of nature, man. It will find a way to take advantage of you.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Change something that's not supposed to be changed.
Exactly. You mess with the little fabric of time.
You never know.
But I mean, you gotta admit, it's really cool to even have that ability like within your grasp. I mean,
yes.
I can only imagine what I would do if I was able to know.
You know, that kind of reminds me of deja vu also. Mm-hmm. Because you're feeling something as if you've been there, but like it's almost like it's like that was a moment in time, but you're not there yet. But now that you've reached there, it's almost like, oh, wait a second, has this actually happened? Deja vu is one of those things too.
Yeah, I've only gotten it a few times in my life. It's been really rare.
Oh, the exact opposite with me. I've gotten it a lot of times, and I don't know. I've also had visions of the future, but like as I was sleeping. And they were like very like petty things. It wasn't like major things. It was like very petty things. But like the next day, that would happen in the same way that it was, that I dreamt of it.
Dude, that's
so
crazy.
Time travel, I think, well, for one, I think that time travel is extremely dangerous.
Yes.
There's so much that can go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If only we could do more research to actually find out. But I don't know. I really feel like we're leagues away from that. To be real. I just don't.
Well, I wouldn't be too sure about that. I mean, we spoke about cryogenic freezing.
True,
and who would have ever thought that, like, oh, yeah, if you want a chance at immortality, let's freeze your body and let's see if it works. Like, who, like...
Yeah.
You know?
I never thought that in my lifetime I'd see something like that. Like virtual reality, for example.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
That's the kind of thing I would
Taking over.
dream about.
Yeah, it's in this virtual reality is like in its baby stages. Like now, you never know what in the future like that can entail.
Yeah. Then we have holograms. We have holograms and of musicians. We have holograms of science is rapidly expanding.
It really is. I mean, in like 40, 50 years, we're going to be looking back on this like, I was there when virtual reality first came. Like, we're going to be those guys.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think about.
We already have hoverboards.
Yeah.
Most of the things in Back to the Future is here now.
It's true. Wow. And it's only been, it hasn't even been 50 years since that movie released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it will be like the Jetsons. We'll have like houses in the sky. That whole phenomenon with the mirage, the city mirage in the sky, which is like already crazy because it's like a reflection of like I don't even know how to begin to explain that. But wow, there's a lot of things about science. But time travel, I felt like I time traveled but in dream format because it was like it basically was that, but just not. I don't know.
Yeah. I also want to recommend another film called Predestination. And this was actually an Australian film.
Is it like Final Destination?
No.
Okay, good.
It is, oh my goodness. Now the term Mind F does not apply more aptly than for this movie. I'm telling you, you will think you know what's happening. You will think you understand. And then, your entire perspective flipped. Trust me. Guys, check it out. Predestination, time lapse. We are going to send links.
Yes, they'll be in the description, so do not worry.
Also, if any of our viewers are into anime whatsoever, I mean, you don't have to be into anime. It's just an interesting concept that revolves around this topic.
Yeah.
Called Steins Gate.
Steins Gate is amazing.
Yeah, it is a very, very good anime. I would recommend anybody to watch it. It involves like a scientist, wanting to go back in time, but there are events that happen that cause him to kind of abuse it in a way, so he can fix his past problems, but it also is relevant to ethics-wise.
Yes.
Is it ethical, like, to just, go back in time to fix something, like,
right.
If there's a girl that you should have said I liked you too.
Right.
How would that affect you right now? Like, then if you would go somewhere with that girl, we wouldn't meet the friends, that we meet now.
Exactly.
Exactly. Maybe not saying that to that girl caused you to be good friends with somebody else.
Yeah.
Or affecting their lives and then your lives, and then it's a very delicate matter. It's not like time travel.
Yeah, I feel like that's the fascinating thing is that time travel, it's like it's such a cool thing that we can witness the world and maybe change things for the better, but maybe your mind state of changing things for the better might actually make things worse. You do not know how life would course correct itself, because I feel that that's another key. In Steins Gate, that's definitely a key, without spoiling anything. Course correction, I think, goes hand in hand with time travel. Because I feel that if we had that ability to time travel, we could maybe change things, but at the end of the day, life would just find another way to change it back to what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some things are just meant to be.
Yes.
Like, no matter how much you try to avoid it, it's always...
Like, it will catch you.
And the same situation may always come up, but at a different time or in a different form.
Exactly.
It's just meant to happen, you know?
Yeah.
No matter how many times you dodge it. Maybe some things you do intervene and it will change, but some things are just meant to happen.
Exactly. Maybe like slight things will change along the way, and those slight things will stay different, but the end game will stay the same.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of scary, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I've always been interested in that concept, and that I'm glad you brought that up because that's a very good point.
And time travel would be has to be a super secret thing, especially like with the government and stuff.
Oh
yeah.
gosh,
like you can't
no.
You can't let anybody be access to this type of technology.
No.
Especially with the hackers now.
Yeah, forget about it. It would definitely be like anything else in this world. It would definitely be abused.
Yeah. It would have to be heavily regulated, and there would have to be laws in place.
Yeah, because people, listen, just like people are joining and participating in this opportunity to be part of the first pioneers to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
The same exact thing would happen if there was a grouping to recruit potential time travelers as like, potential subjects to try this out and see if it works. These people know that the thing to Mars is a one-way ticket, but they're doing it anyway. There would be people who would do the same thing with time traveling, I guarantee you.
Wow. And you know what? That also raises the question of, should we even, there's a huge ethical dilemma here.
Yes.
Should we even dabble in time at all? Is it our place to disrupt nature as humans? Are we going too far in terms of science by doing that?
That's true, yeah. And then to make things more complicated, if you believe in the multiverse theory, there you go.
That's even...
That's getting deep into it.
It is.
Alternate possibilities of current possibilities that could happen.
Yes.
And also, if time travel was a thing, you would have to be a super standby or just a super pedestrian. You go throughout everything without intervening in absolutely nothing.
Yeah, which means that you would also probably have to be aware of getting, wearing a certain, setting of clothes and stuff. Just dressing appropriately, not being like, who are you? Or, it would be a whole thing. But any slight difference could throw any track completely off. Any slight thing.
Yeah.
So you would basically really have to be practically invisible.
That's the thing. Because there are moments I've observed certain days where a chain of events happens. There are particular things that, if changed, would completely disrupt the entire day. And what I mean is, there have been times when I've met people through coincidence, and it's been because, I did this random thing for 5 minutes longer, or I chose this route to travel instead of this. And those little minute things, they've seemed random and different, but in a way, it's sort of been fate. Because those events happen, and they've led me to a particular conclusion.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And there's also this one song I want to recommend. It's pretty old. It's a classic, but it's great. It's called Time in a Bottle.
Taking this down right now.
You should. And it's by Jim Croce. And it's a very beautiful and soft rock song. There have been multiple covers done. We definitely want to share some of those with you guys. But it's basically a musician who's talking about what he would do if he had the ability to use time, if he had time in a bottle, so to speak. And he referenced, being able to to fix things with a past lover and whatnot. Many things that, I mean, most of us would try to do. You know, I mean, there are countless examples of events that we would try to go back and change.
Yeah.
But hey, we just don't know how that would result.
And certain things are just, like we said before, certain things are just meant to happen.
Exactly.
Some people are just meant to go through, life struggles to make them learn and teach them to make them into the man or woman they are now. What if we went back in time to avoid all those struggles? Then we wouldn't learn from that, and we don't know how to deal with those type of struggles if we never went through it and we go back in time and try to fix it. Some things are just not meant to be averted. That's true. Yeah, like as much as we say, "Oh, I want to go back in time and fix that," maybe it's not meant to be fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, man.
It's like time travel is a very delicate thing. Like, would you go back in time and if Hitler was born, would you kill him as a baby?
Wow.
Like, how would that affect us right now?
That's the I mean, we can certainly guess about how it would affect us, but ultimately, there's no way to know. It could end up positive or it could end up very negative.
Even the slightest thing, like, as you guys know, Linkin Park is my favorite artist, hands down. If I was never introduced to them, that wouldn't have only changed my music direction.
Yeah.
But they're what got me into music. So that would have changed everything, because it's because I wanted to get into music so badly that I started with, when it comes to writing stuff, I started with poetry first. I wrote one poem in 2009. Then I started writing songs in 2012. But if Linkin Park was the drive for everything. So if they weren't, I might have probably still have done music, but I wouldn't. That would have probably changed really like a lot of things for me.
Yeah.
In terms of my style, how I would sound, if I would, just little things like that can change a whole thing. Because when you're on when you have that drive due to a particular thing and you're just going and going and going and going because of that thing and the inspiration that you get from it, if that thing's not longer in the picture, what type of person are you?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, there have been things that I wish that I used to believe that if I could go back and change certain things in my past, I'd rather that because I'd end up differently and whatnot. But I decided to not have that view. I should just be content with everything that has happened to me because it's brought me to this moment. And this moment is good.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best as everybody.
With the bad things, you wish that the bad things, of course, didn't happen. But if they didn't happen, your skin wouldn't be as tough.
That's true. That's very true, man.
And your perspective wouldn't be as wide. And I feel like it's a give and take.
Yeah.
If we just go to fix everything, then we'd just be, not say weak, but we can't handle those tough times if it does come about.
Yes.
Because I had a lot of stuff happen to me. I've learned from it, and when it came back up, that same bad situation, I can handle it better. Like, I remember this before. Okay, it doesn't bother me.
Right.
But if we go to fix that and never been exposed to those kind of problems, then I would be a wreck. Like something that you would easily kind of brush off, I would be a wreck.
Especially so late in life too. Because once you reach a certain age, chances are that's who you're gonna be.
Yeah.
So if all you knew was happiness and joy and good times for 30 years of your life, and then you experience one traumatic situation, one really bad traumatic situation at 34, 35 or something, don't know if you would survive.
You got to take the good with the evil, the bad with the good, the light with the dark. Like, just nothing's perfect.
No.
Nothing's perfect.
I think that's another reason why the ideal of a perfect life, it's pretty on the surface, but if you dig deep down, having a perfect life, what's the value in that?
Yeah.
You know?
I have a poem here, again from Poetry Foundation. Great website and resource. I recommend it to anybody. And this particular piece is called I Have a Time Machine by Brenda Shaughnessy. I have a time machine, but unfortunately it can only travel into the future at a rate of 1 second per second, which seems slow to the physicists and to the grant committees and even to me, but I managed to get there time after time, to the next moment and to the next. Thing is, I can't turn it off. I keep zipping ahead. Well, not zipping. And if I try to get out of this time machine, open the hatch, open the latch, I'll fall into space, unconscious, then desiccated, and I'm pretty sure I'm afraid of that. So I stay inside. There's a window, though. It shows the past. It's like a television or a fish tank. But it's never alive. It's always over. The fish swim in backward circles. Sometimes it's like a rearview mirror, another chance to see what I'm leaving behind, and sometimes like blackout, all that time wasted sleeping. Myself, age 8, whole head burnt with embarrassment at having lost a library book. Myself lurking in a candled corner expecting to be found charming. Me holding a rose, though I want to put it down so I can smoke. Me exploding at my mother who explodes at me because the explosion of some dark star all the way back struck hard at mother's mother's mother. I turn away from the window, anticipating a blow. I thought I'd find myself an old woman by now, traveling so light in time. But I haven't gotten far at all. Strange not to be able to pick up the pace as I'd like. The past is so horribly fast. Wow, it's a great poem.
Wow.
I really like this poem because it vividly portrays the relationship between the writer and the past. Like, it's that window that's there. You always see it. You can learn from it or not, but it is there. And like any part of life, we have to accept it.
Yeah.
But
I like that vision of having it be portrayed as a window, because it's not like a door you can open again and enter. It's a window where now it's like it was a door when it was the future, but now since it's the past, it's a window that you can just view. You can't.
I like that.
That's crazy.
I like that. How it once was a door. I mean, that's the thing. And you know what? I think that another thing that Brenda is trying to communicate is that she's talking about what we were discussing, about how all the things in the past led to this moment, but it's better to leave it be. You know, like she mentioned my mother who explodes at me because the explosion of some dark star all the way back struck hard at mother's mother's mother.
That is one of the I'm sorry, that's one of the deepest lines.
It's true though,
because once again, chain reaction. Everything has a chain reaction.
Mm-hmm.
The slightest action has a reaction. So it's like, think about it from millennia and wonder if those explosions and supernovas and all that had the most minute effect on something, which led to something else, and then the line continues. And it doesn't really stop because the chain reaction just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you think about it, that's really kind of how everything is. Like from day one, from space to, to land, oceans, then animals, then humans, But like there was always something developing. There was always something taking place. Mm-hmm. And now that we're here, we chain react off each other, which causes other chain reactions, which causes connections and all these other things. And it's like that the 6 degrees of separation. I think that is like, that doesn't just apply to people. That applies to like galaxies.
Oh, I see.
Space.
Oh yeah. For anybody unfamiliar with the concept, the entire thing about 6 degrees of separation, it's the idea that through 6 different people, you most likely know, well, people use the examples, you might know a celebrity or be associated with them through 6 different people or something like that, because it's like between the power of 6 different networks of somebody who knows somebody who's related to, and so on and so on. In a way, we are connected to people who we thought that maybe we weren't.
And I honestly believe that. I do. Because, I think that if you think about it, man, the world is small, man. The world is small. It's not as big as it's. I mean, of course, you can stay in the same spot your entire life and be fine, but the world is small. And like last year, like recently, I've actually been like, there's been connections with people. Like not even just last year, but like I would say like college, starting that and on. There's been like connections I've been like finding with people and like stuff that I'm just like, oh, okay. It's crazy. It's like, and it's a lot of stuff we might not know. We might never know. I mean, It's crazy. A stranger who you're sitting next to could literally be your relative.
Yeah.
People are connected some way, somehow.
Exactly.
It's strange. You never know people who, was born twins, but one had to go to adoption by some godly reason, and then 20 years later, you may be associated with that person that was your twin, but you don't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Going back in time, maybe that was meant to happen.
Yeah.
And then eventually you'll meet back up.
Maybe. Yeah.
It all goes back to the butterfly effect.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah, because maybe something is meant to just knock you off a certain path, makes you go on a different path that makes you meet or be in a certain situation to make you better. What would going back in time do if that was an unfavorable route? Maybe you're meant to go on that route, but if you change that, God knows where you be.
And I have to bounce off you with that, because the thing is like, what I'm thinking is that a lot of the hatred and dissent towards just people towards other people is usually kind of, beyond race and religion and all that stuff. It comes down to the fact that you're different from me, so I don't like you. But if that person had knowledge that that person was related to them, would their thoughts change? Because family comes first, apparently. So for all family, by some stretch, like if there was like actual proof of everybody, then that might have been the solution, the truth, to peace and stuff. But since the term stranger, since everyone is like, no, you're not my blood, you're not related to me, you're not, which really no one can possibly know.
Yeah.
If we're talking about going back far, like there's no way to know that. So people just make assumptions and go off the facts that they do know. Mm-hmm. But then you expand that. So then would your thoughts change, or would you still be the same? Because I feel like once you integrate family, everything changes. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're related to me? Oh, okay, well, how is that possible? And then, that's crazy, man.
Well, I have two things to say about that. The first being that I believe in the concept of chosen family, and basically that a blood relative doesn't always make someone your true family. And what I mean by that is I've had friends who aren't related to me, who have treated me better, who have sacrificed more for me than many other blood relatives have done in the past or are even willing to do. You know, and it's like you could be related to a serial killer, but it's like just because of that bond, are you going to defend them? Are you going to support them? Of course not.
Right.
Of course not. I just think that like truly being family, it's more than just blood. It's bonds. It's memories.
Hey man, getting on a deep level. Also with that, we're all strangers at birth, man.
Yeah. Wow, I like that.
We're all strangers at birth.
It's true.
Even to your family, you're strangers at birth.
That brings me to the art that I wanted to mention today. There's this piece of digital art by, I believe it's pronounced Zettabyte. He's a user on DeviantArt. Yes. And he posted a picture. I just want to show you guys this.
Great site, by the way.
It is.
Nice. Wow.
And to depict it for everybody, well, imagine this. Gray clouds, a barren, grassless ground. And there are all these clocks stretching out for miles. Like there are poles with clocks at the top. And there's one clock that's at the forefront of the image. And there's a man with his head hung low, and he's standing next to this clock. Now, this clock is different from any other clock in the picture because this one doesn't have any hands. That really brings many, many thoughts into the forefront of my mind.
Same here, actually.
Like, does it reflect his desire to not be restrained by time? Is it like time does not exist for him? Maybe he's bound by these responsibilities. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to interpret this, but I'm curious as to what you guys think.
Louis?
The clock with no hands could symbolize the beginning, like the starting point. And then every clock after that represents a point in his life.
Okay, that completely beats what I was thinking.
So at
wow,
can you turn to
yeah.
See, at a certain time, there's a clock on the left that says I think 11 or 10:30 something. Maybe that's a point in his life that a special moment is supposed to happen, or a bad moment, and then another clock comes up where, you know, that point in time something is supposed to happen. So every clock he walks into, that's the point of his life that something is meant to happen to that person. And the clock that he is standing is the beginning, which is 0, 0, 0. And then once he takes that first step into the next time, that's something where an event's supposed to happen in his life. And that's for all of us.
Yeah.
All of us are at this point, or we're stopping at all these clocks. Something during that time is supposed to happen. Good or bad, that is supposed to happen.
I really like that. And
yeah, that is a great interpretation, man.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even, wow, man. I don't even want to say what.
No.
No, do it.
I was, I mean, maybe I can connect mine to yours. How there, I've heard things like time doesn't exist. That is a tool that we made so that we can organize things, days and months and years, and organize things. But like the clock in the middle is like the true clock, and it stands for perception / perspective.
That's good.
Ooh.
That's good because I see what you mean, because the clock with no handles could represent a portion in his mind where, like you said, time doesn't exist. This is his own, world or whatever.
Right.
But his head is hang low,
Yeah.
Who knows why his head is hang low? Maybe he's starting over from, recovering from a traumatic point in his life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or it's just another step in his life that he's starting from zero. He's
starting over, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's funny because since the clock has no face, the one in the center, I'm picturing that the man has no face either.
Oh. Yeah, I see. I guess I kind of see a connection between what both of you guys are saying. I see the man with his head hung low and standing next to the clock with no hands as like a reflection of somehow his emotional state. Because think about it. There's this field of other clocks that are at other times, but this particular person is at this one.
Maybe he feels invisible also.
Oh, wow.
In his own world. And maybe there's other people next to the other clocks that he can't see because he's in his own world, going back to what you said, Louis.
Whoa.
Or if you want to, I know this is probably taking it a step further. If you notice his clothing, he's wearing all black.
Yes.
Yeah.
Black can represent space. And then time, no hands. So time and space, endless. If you want to, if you want to take it that much further, but I'm not sure if that's one of the interpretations that's accurate. But if you want to take it a step further, that can represent.
But
I mean, like, you never know, though.
I don't want to get grim here, but
I think I know what you're thinking.
Black can also signify death.
Exactly.
And
like in
the
literature.
fact that his time is up. So there is no time left for him. Literally.
Yes,
that just blew my mind. His time being up.
Which is why he has his head, which is why we can't see his face, because, I mean, now he has no identity.
Yeah. All the other clocks were moments in his life. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why that one's in the forefront.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, well, this is the most prominent one. Because maybe this just happened or something. There's so many possible interpretations.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I love about art. There's so many ways you can take it. You can take it into directions that will challenge your thoughts, that will bring out other thoughts in other people. And it's always such a cool thing to do. And, there was one thing I wanted to mention about what you said, Julian, about time not existing. I've seen posts on Facebook and other social media that discuss that idea. And it's always broken down like this. Right. It's like time in nature exists because, things grow and things decay and stuff like that. But it's like time as a system, I think the people who made those posts are saying that the system itself doesn't exist. Like,
right.
As in, like, we don't have to cut up the day into 12 and 12 and say that this, like, signifies that. Things just sort of progress.
Right.
And we exist. And man has sort of made this system where we can organize everything into hours, compartments, minutes, seconds. Because those things are technically not real, maybe? Because the concept of a second, a minute, an hour, those are all man-made.
You know what's funny about that, though?
What?
If you think about it, language is man-made, too.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel literally that's the definition, make your own reality. Follow what you... There are so many things that have been man-made. Even, like, the systems with the calendars and all this stuff. I feel like if they were not present, kind of similar to, like, you're taking a piece out of the puzzle, but it's, like, one of the major pieces. I feel like people they created this stuff for organization's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it didn't exist, then how would you? You can't really. Sense alone is not enough. Sense alone is not enough. You need a system to follow because it makes other tasks and things easier.
Yeah,
it does. Which might sound contradictory because if there's no system, you can just do whatever and whenever you want it. Which I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. That could be an endless conversation in itself, honestly.
Yeah, it could. But there's one essential question that I always want to answer in every episode, and that's why? Why is time travel such a popular thing? And of course, it's cool as possibilities. That's obvious. But what I'm saying is I think that when the people who obsess over time travel or seriously long for this idea, maybe there's something more than just fascination. Maybe there's a desire, a deep desire to change the past, to rectify things. Because everybody goes through a sense of regret.
Yeah.
For many, many, many things. But as we've said before, we need to simply live with what has happened.
And you can't, something that my mom reminds me of, can't live in fear. Can't live your life in fear.
Yeah, you can.
Because that will hold you back and that will leave you with more regret than if you were to take risks and try something that you were afraid of or something.
Yeah.
You got to live your life because you could live your whole life out and not do that one thing that you've been afraid of this whole time, but it's a chance you would have been perfectly fine and you would have had a story to tell, but since you didn't do it,
it's always going to haunt you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the regret. Regret is like a ghost.
Oh.
Because it never leaves you alone.
Poetic. Snap.
Maybe that's what your shadow represents.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh.
Shadow, yes.
Shadows is not just about, light and then there's a shadow, a black, image on the floor.
Yeah.
Even though it's your image.
Yeah.
Maybe that shadow is representing something.
I see what you're saying. Because things follow us. And, decisions follow us. Our past always follows us.
Exactly. Your shadow is technically your past. Because it's always behind you.
And if we go back in time to fix those, problems that we have in our past, then we would have no shadow.
Exactly.
We look
right, man. Yes.
Yeah, we look behind us.
There's nothing there because you're always one step ahead of your shadow, and you're walking, and in less than a second, there's your shadow walking in the same spot. So that's crazy. I mean, there's always there's an after, just like how there's a reaction to a reaction. There's a reaction to an action. There's always I feel like an after image to an image. And it's just it's almost like you basically are two people.
I mean, in a way we are.
Yeah. You're one person, but your shadow, I feel like that's very symbolic, man. That's very symbolic.
It is.
It's got me thinking now.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
I'm wondering how that would look as an art piece.
That's exactly what we're about. Just thought-provoking.
That's crazy.
Time is an ever-present thing.
Yeah.
It moves by non-motion. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're standing still, but time is still walking in front of us.
Yeah.
He's not waiting.
Time will still, Father Time. If you want to personify it.
Father Time waits for no one, man.
Exactly. All we can do is adjust.
Time moves in a very fluid fashion, even when things are chaotic for us, but since time is transparent, that's the only thing that we've made tangible by like just personification, just calling it time itself.
Something that we can hold, but we can never hold.
Exactly.
You know, like we can't control it. We can't do anything to time, but simply observe it, be part of it. You know,
can't even observe it because it's crazy, man. I mean, what would time even look like? It would. I feel like time. I don't know, man. Time and space. We already know what space looks like. I don't think time would have it. I don't think time. We associate it with the inventions we've made for it, like clocks and watches and all of this stuff. But that's clocks and watches. That's not time.
It's an invisible entity.
It is.
Yeah.
Like we can't see it.
Time doesn't have a shadow.
No. It'll always move.
Yeah.
Time's shadow is the wind. Honestly.
This is a discussion that Neil deGrasse Tyson needs to get in on. I need I need his epic perspective.
Yo, Cosmos. You watch Cosmos on Netflix?
No.
That's Neil deGrasse Tyson's series.
Oh.
It's about just history of the world, space, all of these. It's really cool. I think you'd like it. It's really cool.
Cosmos. Okay.
He goes into depth, man.
Wow, we have gotten deep. Definitely.
We got deep like time, man.
Yeah.
The time is the deepest thing. Like that, at least. Well, you know.
Yeah. And as time marches on, I really hope that you guys, if anything, at least take from this episode the message that, yeah, our past isn't. It may not be ideal. It may not be what you want, but it is what you have.
That's right.
So we need to try our best and move forward with time.
Yeah.
Because the opposite is not going to do us any good.
Exactly. And you know that, you know, for the listeners, time is not tangible, but we still have a limited duration of time to live. So there's no extensions here. Only trying your best to make the right choices in your life so that you don't have as much regret about the things that you couldn't do because you've wasted time. So those are my final words.
And also,
I like it.
Also, we each have our own clocks, not just watches, our own clocks in general.
Yes.
Sadly, there's a lot of people's clocks that are shorter than others.
Yes.
You know, through unfortunate, events that happen.
Yes.
But either way, we have to cherish our own clocks and make sure we don't always keep tab on it because anything can, make the batteries run out or anything can happen, God forbid. But time is just something we just got to live with and just move forward with it as it goes forward.
Yes.
No, we can always stay still, but that's always going to keep moving. That's something that'll never get tired.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
It moved throughout these years. Why would it stop for anybody else? No matter how important that one person may be.
Oh wow,
that's the thing.
That sums it up, man.
That completely sums it up.
I gotta snap. That sums it up, bro. Oh my gosh.
On that perfect note, I'd like to leave you guys with hopefully a new perspective on time.
And your thoughts on time. Like, what are your thoughts on time?
Yeah.
Yes, please let us know your thoughts either in the comments of this video or reach out to us. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah. Time travel. Would you do it? Would you not? Do you think it should be illegal? Yeah.
Just something I feel like it shouldn't be tampered with.
Exactly.
Yeah, to begin with, definitely.
Yes, that's just, a TV, anime, cartoon design. That doesn't mean we should apply it to, real application because that's something that we should not touch.
Exactly.
Nice.
There's freedom of speech, there's freedom of press, but there ain't no freedom of time, man. The freedom of time is your life. That's your freedom of time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So live it.
Live it and live it well. And listen, I know it can be a struggle to obsess over what's gonna happen tomorrow. You know, am I gonna, like, what time do I have to do this tomorrow? These responsibilities are gonna arrive and whatnot. But definitely take those moments to just be in the now.
Yes,
because that's all we really have.
Exactly.
Like, the past is just gone with every moment. Like, you can't remain in the past. You can't stay focused on the future. So all you have is right now. So smile, because you're alive. And that is, trust me, that is something to be very, very thankful for.
Right.
So on that note, I'd like to say that this was another deep episode of Unknown and Uncloned. I have been your host, Rich, along with my co-host,
Julian Wilson, and our buddy today for this episode,
Lewis, and yeah, I'm here.
And we're glad that you're here.
Indeed.
Spending this time with us.
Yeah.
It's been an honor.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you guys have any more messages, any episode requests, comments, criticisms, you can just send us a quick message at
UAU Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and or UAU TUDPN on Facebook. And if you want to reach out to the grander brand, The Undetermined, please reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the UD Network, and listen to full episodes of Unknown and Uncloned, plus other UD content at the Undetermined Network on YouTube.
All right. Peace out, guys.